welcome to Joy in Our Town, TBN, St. Joseph, Kansas City. I am your host, Lindsay Hardiman. When looking into an area to reside in, or maybe you already live there, one of the top priorities and main concerns is this community safe? So join with us today is Sheldon Lyon of the St. Joseph Safety and Health Council, who is going to tell us what he and his team are doing to make sure the community is safe. Sheldon Lyon, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're glad you could join us.
Thank you.
So can you start by telling us about yourself and the St. Joseph Safety and Health Council?
Well, my name's Sheldon Lyon. I was a 29-year veteran of the Missouri State Highway Patrol and retired 2 years ago. And now I am the Executive Director of the St. Joseph Safety and Health Council. The Safety Council has a pretty interesting start. It's an 81-year-old agency that got its start back in the 30s in St. Joseph, Missouri. Back then, you have to remember, everything was located downtown. There were lots of people downtown on the sidewalks, and during one calendar year, 17 pedestrians were struck and killed in the downtown area just due to improperly crossing the streets and not using the stoplights. So a group of concerned citizens got together and founded the Safety Council. Today, we're a United Way partner agency, and we cover northern Missouri and northeastern Kansas, and we do different types of safety. Safety in the community, we do safety when you're at work, our occupational, and also we still have our traffic safety program that the agency was founded on.
All right, so you mentioned three: occupational, traffic, and community.
Right.
So let's first start with traffic. What
Sure.
are some of the traffic safety programs you all offer?
One of the very most important programs we have in the safety portion is our car seat program. Many people in the community, because of circumstances, are not able to afford a car seat. Their budgets are very challenging. So what we have is a program where a family can qualify for a free seat. And just as important as that free seat is, it's the correct installation of the seat.
Right.
And then also correctly seat belting the infant or the child into the seat. So not only do they get a seat, they get instruction on how to correctly install it in their vehicle, and then also how to properly safeguard their child by placing them in the seat correctly.
That's wonderful, because I know back with me, when I used to try to hook my little cousins in, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just wanted to buckle them in.
Yeah, and most of us, unless we've been trained, are that way. You just think, well, I seat belted in and put my child in there and they're safe. And there really is a method to that. And if it's done incorrectly, it certainly will not safeguard your child, and in some cases actually puts them, more at risk for injury. So it's real important that someone who's qualified shows you how to put in that seat. And so that's one of our main missions with the traffic safety group, is to be involved with car seats in the area. One of the other things we do is a Every Mile Matters task force. And these are safety-minded organizations, a collaboration of groups that come together and discuss safety issues in relation to traffic around the area. And one of the issues right now that they're dealing with and talking a lot about is bicycle safety.
Right.
We see more and more bike lanes in the area here in Missouri, and so we have groups that are very avid bike riders, so we need to figure out how they can share the road with the motorists and do so safely. So those are the type of issues that we see in the traffic portion that the community is very interested in.
All right, do you have any programs, because although you said one of the high things is with the bicycle and helmet, but a lot of teens are out there driving and we're texting and driving, or we may be under the influence. So do you have any programs to assist with that issue?
Yeah, every year we put together what's known as docudramas, and we take that program to area high schools. And what the docudrama is, it's a simulated alcohol-related traffic crash that involves a fatality. And it's simulated, so we set it up. Area hospitals will moulage the victims, what we call them. They're students who volunteer to be a part of the program. And so we set up this crash normally out in front of the high school, and then we invite the students to come out and watch it unfold. And even though it's staged and they know it is, you can really see the emotion in some kids when they watch that, some of the students. After they view the outdoor portion, they go inside where they hear testimony. They see a video by the Highway Patrol, and it's really a powerful presentation. The feedback we get from the questionnaire is overwhelmingly positive. And what we're going to do this year for the first time is when the seniors graduate, they take an exit survey. And we have one question on that exit survey that says, 2 years ago you saw the docudrama as a sophomore and it had great impact. Does that impact carry over to their senior year? So that's some of the data that we're looking forward to maybe help that program even become more powerful.
All right, so you said you'll set up this life simulation outside of high schools.
Right.
Roughly how many do participate each year? Is there several different high schools? Like, how does that work?
Currently, this year we will have 13 high schools that are going to have the presentation. It's a lot of work to set up. It's a collaborative effort between hospitals, law enforcement, the Safety Council, and a couple other groups. So it is a lot of work, but it is well worth it to inform these students who are just learning how to drive, the dangers of texting and driving, the dangers of impaired driving, because we all know about impaired driving, but it is very dangerous to try to text and drive. And we see a lot of that announcement in the media now, but we have to make sure that we try to educate our young drivers about that.
Yeah, to really get the message across.
Yeah, because they're the technology generation, and they think they're a lot better at texting and driving than they are.
Right. All right, so, we said we're going to touch on 3. So we touched on traffic, but let's go to community. Can you tell me about some of the community safety programs? Yeah,
probably one of the programs the Safety Council is most known for is Safety Town.
Okay.
And what Safety Town is, it's a program for children age 4 to 7 years of age. It's conducted at a local elementary school. We take over the gymnasium, and we have a tarp that we unroll that has the city streets and the sidewalks. We have buildings that we set up. We have a working traffic light. And then we have a series of tricycles. So part of Safety Town is learning the rules of the road.
Right.
These children don't know the things that you and I take for granted, like how to be a pedestrian, when to walk, when to stop. So they get their time on the town and learn that traffic safety, but also they learn some 40 targets of safety beyond that. And it's kind of interesting, one of the targets of safety that's very difficult for them to really figure out is stranger danger. We can talk to the children, and actually it's taught by classroom teachers that are, during the school year, then they work the summertime. But the stranger danger is very difficult for them to really grasp that concept.
Because they're just so friendly. So
it is, and in the classroom they say, no, we won't talk to strangers, but we have a practical exercise, and we invite the parents to watch at a distance. And typically I go in as kind of the bad guy and try to lure the children away from the group while they're at a city park playing. And when you do that, and you can touch at their heartstrings, a lot of times those kids will go with you. And the parents are horrified, but it's a good way to relay to them that the targets of safety need to be talked about at home too, and re-emphasized. And, it's amazing, by the time the program's over, it's a 2-week program where they go half a day. It's amazing to see the pre-test scores and then the post-test scores. Those kids are sponges. It's amazing what they retain. And so we're just thrilled to death that we're able to give that truly life-saving information to these young children.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It is, and it's an absolute great program.
Yeah, it sounds like it, because it's kind of like what you do with the high school students with the live stimulation and stuff, where they're actually in it themselves.
Yeah, so we have volunteers that also are a part of it, and they break out into their small groups and go over the information, again, and reemphasize it. And then the volunteers will take the children out, and they get to ride trikes on the town, and it's a great fun time for them. They love it. This year we've expanded the program north to another city, and so that's exciting for us to be in Savannah. last year and again this year. So it is a great program that started in St. Joseph and now is in Savannah.
So it's growing and expanding.
It is.
That's a positive thing right there.
It is. And, you know, like all parents today, safety is very important to our children. They're the most important things we have. They're very precious. And to safeguard them is very important.
All right, so we're going to pause for a few seconds and we're going to put some information on the screen for our viewers at home. If you would like to get more information about this program or the St. Joseph Safety and Health Council itself, you can give them a call on the number on the screen at 816-233-3330 or visit the website at stjoesafetycouncil.org. That is STJOE safetycouncil.org. All right, so the final safety one, since we already went through traffic and community, occupational. Can you tell me about those programs?
Yeah, we try to keep people safe while they're at home, while they're in their car, and now at work.
Right.
You know, it's important to have a breadwinner. Family relies on that.
Exactly.
So what we have are 51 area companies in St. Joe, Chillicothe, and Maryville that need training for their employees. When you start a business, the federal government, through OSHA, demands that workers work in a safe and healthful work environment. So by becoming a member of the Safety Council, they can receive that training at a discounted cost, which they need, and also as part of our mission to keep folks safe. So we provide confined space training, OSHA 10-hour training, forklift training, the type of training that companies really look for, and we're able to work with them, schedule the training, and it's great for them. Beyond that, we have a breakfast series for the members where we bring in people from OSHA and other safety groups to talk about safety. It's important to keep on the cutting edge of what's new, what is trending in safety, what is an emphasis area for OSHA. So we try to keep companies current with the best information of what's going on now. And that in turn makes for a great safe work environment for those workers. And beyond that, we have the Midland Empire Safety Association, which is responsible for bringing the hazard lab from the Department of Labor in Missouri. And what that is, they come into an arena area and they will set up some 40 workstations, and in these workstations they will have built-in OSHA violations. So the safety professionals go through and try to identify the safety violations. It's a great way for them to sharpen their skills and you know, maybe learn about some violations that they didn't recognize. So very important training for the area, northern Missouri and northeastern Kansas.
All right. Okay, so again, we're going to put some information on the screen. If you would like to get more information about the St. Joseph Safety and Health Council, you can give them a call at 816-233-3330 or visit the website located on the screen at stjoesafetycouncil.org. All right, so in closing, we know you accept volunteers, and so they can probably go to your website and get involved with that.
Yeah, and that's probably one of our biggest challenges. You know, we have all this programming and we have a staff of 3. So, you know, we put out a tremendous amount of work and we are always looking for volunteers to help, especially the first 6 months of the year when a lot of the programming is done. That way throughout the year when the programs come along, they're well prepared.
All right. Well, Sheldon and Lyon, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, viewers, for tuning in to Joy in Our Town, TBN, St. Joseph, Kansas City. I am your host, Lindsay Hardiman, and have a wonderful week.
I'm Mark Owen, and I'm the Platte County Sheriff. And today I'd like to give you a tip on not becoming a victim of crime. When you leave your valuables in the car and you don't remove them, you're making an opportune situation for a criminal to steal from your car. They'll break your window and cause damage, which will cost you untold hundreds of dollars. Please place them in your trunk or take them and place them securely in your home or residence. If you're a victim of crime or you observe a crime, please immediately call 911 and report the situation to your local law enforcement agency.
Hello and welcome to Joy in Our Town, TBN, St. Joseph, Kansas City. I am your host, Lindsay Hardiman. Now, when you hear the word youth, what's the first thing that pops in your head? For me, personally, I think young and full of energy. And in most instances, when you're both young and full of energy, you're involved in several extracurricular activities, whether it's sporting, dancing, and the list can go on and on. So today, we are joined with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes representative, Alex Campbell. Alex Campbell, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're glad you can join us. So let's open up by telling us a bit about yourself and how you got involved with the FCA.
Okay, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. Well, I will say thank you. It's a pleasure for being here. I grew up around sports, and sports really played a heavy factor in what I did as a child. I excelled in track and field and football. I ended up earning a scholarship to play football at Lincoln University in Jeff City, Missouri.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. From there, sports really was the alternative for me, and it shielded me from the hardships and some of the harsh realities that I faced in my neighborhoods. And for me, that was that out card, that was that free card.
Right.
But in 2007, I actually went back to St. Louis, and I found my beautiful wife. So we got married. Now, we were young, 18 and 20 at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We were really young. So I'm saying, hey, you still have to, I advocate to people, you still have to be spiritually sound before you make a decision like that.
Right.
Well, that led me to, unfortunately, when we took our studies back to Lincoln University, and she joined me there. But 2 years later, her mother passed away.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that was a tough time for us.
Right.
And that was the time where I was shaky in my faith. And I didn't realize which direction I would go in, because with her mother passing, she had 3 younger siblings that we had to make a decision on. We ended up adopting them, so we became instant parents, 6, 8, and 11 years old, which was a joy. So by the age of 22, we were already parents. In 2009, I was introduced to FCA. That was the year her mother passed away. That was the year that I felt myself tearing apart from me, in a sense. And FCA embraced me. They loved me, and they encouraged me to go back at this with the courage of Christ. And at that moment, I felt like my life was transformed. So I was then, 5 years later, I was hired as the area director for Kansas City, Missouri. We call it the Center City area. And my specific role in FCA as the area director is to foster spiritual growth and sustain a ministry influence here that impacts coaches and athletes, and then rally the community around that. So hiring staff, recruiting volunteers, and getting everybody on board to see that through.
All right. So why did you feel that there was a specific need for the FCA in our community?
This community reminds me a lot like St. Louis in the term that there was hopelessness all throughout my city. As a child growing up, being a part of the environment, one thing that I didn't value was relationship. And FCA focuses all of its efforts through having healthy relationships.
Right.
As I got to Kansas City, I saw that there was a dire need for hope in our city. There are a lot of barriers that exist, and some that are best not talked about. But we want to shed light on those issues with God being the authority. And I feel that replacing that unknown element with the hope of Christ is how we go about curing and I'll say healing our city.
Okay, so you said you focus on hope. So with this hope, how are you teaching the youth to work on their personal growth?
Personal growth. Well, first is we feel like the youth they're in an identity crisis right now. And that's just, who am I? What in today's age, what do you focus on? There are so many distractions out here via social media and all these other tools. Right. So how do we capture the attention of our youth? Well, we use sports as our platform. And with sports, if you think about when the Royals won the World Series, that brought over 800,000 people in one place. And that's the picture that we see when we see our youth. In the generations to come, if we can focus them in a direction where their energy is spewed out of hope and Christ and love and faith and relationship, that's the picture we feel like we'll see. So with that, we encourage all the athletes to not only grow, but we challenge them in their faith in uncomfortable in moments if they find hard talking about, so that they can grow and find that spiritual enlightenment.
Right. And in today's society, when it comes to youth, a lot have a difficulty about talking about their faith in God. Yeah. So that's wonderful that you have this organization.
Yeah, it helps out a lot.
Right. Okay, so, when I hear athletes, just like when you were talking about the Royals, they're leaders in the community. So how are you instilling leadership skills?
Well, the first thing we do is we bring the two together, allowing the leaders of our community to meet the future leaders is one way where I don't have to be present. I can just rally them together and they can see it. A lot of people learn differently, so we put it in front of them where they not only hear you talk about it, but they can see it happening right before their eyes. Excuse me. For that, we have an internship program that we offer. Well, this last summer, we had 6 college interns from, well, we had, I think, a few from UMKC, Kansas City Christian, and Rockhurst all together. We brought them together, and they learned and grew together.
Right.
They got to go out in the community and experience what it was like to lead and actually learn from leaders in the community.
Right.
We felt like that was an active role in how can we shape our leaders of tomorrow.
All right. Okay, well, we're going to pause for a second and put some information on the screen for our viewers at home. If you would like to get more information about the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, you can give them a call on the number on the screen at 816-590-5080 or visit the website at fcacity.org. Okay, so with your organization, you have what you all call the 4 C's of ministry. Can you tell us about that? What is the 4 C's of ministry?
This is a secret. No, I'm just
Okay,
playing. We
tell
can
us.
share this with everyone.
Okay.
Okay, the 4 C's are our coaches ministry, our camp ministry, our campus ministry, and then we have our community ministry. Now, the coach ministry, the coaches are the heart of FCA.
Right.
These are our major influencers in society.
Exactly.
It says that one thing that we believe in FCA, a coach in 1 year will have more influence over people than, let's just say, an individual over a lifetime. Now, I probably didn't get into the details of that, but for me specifically, what coach says means more than anything else.
Right.
Now, we target that by helping coaches to grow in their faith and transform their lives so that they can influence those who are around them, the other coaches, and then they can coach their athletes better. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as our campus ministry, those are student-led ministries. And these are student leaders that grow to be huddle leaders at the school. Mm-hmm. And then from there, they want to see Christ impacted. They want to see their school impacted for Christ. And this is the way we go about doing it. For our camp ministry, now this is just the icing on the cake. Mm-hmm. This is where everything comes together. This is a combination of athleticism and faith. Mm-hmm. And when you mix those two in combination, you get FCA. These are athletes that not only that live and breathe spiritual enlightenment, but they have this passion to share the gift of the gospel with everyone they come into contact with, right, and through the platform of sports, which tears down all barriers. Mm-hmm. And then the last C we have, which one did I not speak about? Community. Community, yes. Community is the ecosystem, I can say. It's the thing that supports. It's the supporting foundation that helps it continue on, mm-hmm, and this is what weathers it through any storms that may come. Right. When you have the family engaged, when you have community centers engaged, when you have the business leaders all engaged, and they come and rally around a coach to come and pour into that coach so he can pour better into his athletes. That's how you sustain a ministry. Mm-hmm. So that's the important elements of our 4 C's of ministry.
All right, so with these 4 C's of ministry, it's about all coming together and making it one.
Right.
And when you hear making it one and coming together, you think huddle, because you get into a huddle before you have a big game. Mm-hmm. But FCA's definition of huddle is a little different. So can you tell our viewers about that? Yeah,
now traditionally when we say huddle, we think everybody come huddle up.
Right.
Okay, well, we target that as a specific or a strategic Bible study or devotional group that will meet to discuss tough topics that we're dealing with, personal, mm-hmm, and some matters that you're afraid to share. Now, these topics challenge you in your home, your spiritual life, your faith, and all these different areas. Mm-hmm. But we don't just leave it to just discussions. We have fun at the beginning of it with icebreakers. We get up and we have physical challenges that go along with it and visualizations, mm-hmm, that help you understand what the concepts we're trying to teach. Right. So that's how we do our huddles. It's a little different.
Okay, so when and where are these huddles and who leads the huddles?
Well, the huddles are typically led by our student leaders, okay, and those are huddle leaders. Now, a huddle leader is any student that identifies with the values of FCA as a believer, and they want to see their sphere of influence or that student body impacted for Christ. Right. Now, the huddles take place either before or after school. It really depends on how that huddle chooses to operate, what works best. Right. And then with that, we have a ministry sponsor or a ministry leader, And that's someone that oversees that huddle. That's typically a faculty member or a coach, and that person pretty much sustains and makes sure that everything falls under the umbrella of matching the core values of FCA.
All right, so for our viewers at home, if you would like to get involved with the FCA or you just want more information, again, you can visit the website on the screen at fcacity.org, or you can give them a call at 816-590-5080. All right, so you've been involved with this organization for a while now. So what type of impact have you seen with this organization? Are there any testimonies you can recall and want to share?
Okay, Lindsay, can I give you one word?
Yes.
Okay. Transformation. I've seen lives transformed right before my eyes. And as a man, you always fight this nagging urge to be emotional. But to see some of the transformation that have taken place, for instance, and I met one individual named John, and to watch him put his arm around me at a camp and say, man, just thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here. This changes my life. Knowing what he faces when he goes back home into his regular environments. For me, that's a staple. It lets you know that this is bigger than me. I've had the opportunity of standing on stage after Super Bowl winning coach Tony Dungy came in and spoke to Kansas City. And a young lady came down and she was just pouring in tears. And I asked her what's wrong, and she said that she had been trying to take her life and she'd been struggling with that. But she felt her life was changed and it was worth something now. And it was just thinking, this, providing an opportunity for people to come engage in this, is saving lives. So that type of impact is immeasurable, and that's why I give my life to this ministry.
That's amazing. All right, and in closing, do you all accept volunteers?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
We encourage all of those community leaders, all of those pastors, all of those just business people, anybody with a heart to see their city impacted for Christ, and they have a special liking towards sports. If you don't have any sports background, but you want to contribute, let's just say you want to go to a camp and you want to serve food, or you want to go to a huddle and you want to help pass out Bibles and resources, or you would like to host a huddle at your house, or you want to pour into it in any way that matches our values, we accept it definitely. And we ask that all those volunteers, anybody that wants to be a volunteer, would come and check out the FCA building here in Kansas City, because it's right here in our hometown. And at the same time, you can give me a call at the information that you posted on the screen, and we definitely want to see more volunteers get involved.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you, viewers, for tuning in to Joy in Our Town, TBN, St. Joseph, Kansas City. I am Lindsay Hardiman, and have a great week.
This program has been sponsored by the Trinity Broadcasting Network and made possible by your telethon dollars. Your continual support can keep Joy in Our Town brought to your home every day. So write Joy in Our Town, P.O. Box A, Santa Ana, California, 92711.